Hello guys and welcome, I am AssassinBG, your friendly neighborhood streamer, and today I'm gonna show the absolute best loadouts you can have for this lovely game called Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War. First of all, I'm sorry I haven't been streaming a lot lately, but as I said, I am one of you, the average bloke who has a ton of things on his mind, and quite frankly I don't have as much time as I would like to. Anyway, long story short, let me show you what I have, but first let me give you some background story on it. Basically, as I've told you in my previous streams, I have spent a copious amounts of time on the open beta, where I've tested quite a lot of the weapons that were available at the time, and I have been playing quite a bit so far. As my stats are no longer horrendous, and I am no longer pursuing the objectives all the time, which means that my KDR is getting higher by the minute, I can actually show you my combat records. As you can see, my weapon of choice and the weapon of choice you should have if you want to kill those consecutive games and your enemies is the XM4 assault rifle. I have over 1000 kills with it, which I think allows me to speak with some confidence about it. My second one was the MP5. I'm not proud of that, but let's be honest, we all abused it quite a bit. And the third one I use is the AUG, which is also an absolute beast. As you can see, my KDR there is quite okay, together with my secondary weapons, the Hauser 77 and the GALLO 12 shotguns. Now, we're going directly to the loadouts. Basically, the classes that I have created are specifically for my needs. MR stands for medium range. Most of these games, let's be honest, are on a medium range. Your standard maps, doesn't matter if they're in your quick games or in your larger, let's say, maps that you can encounter, are pretty much all on medium range. It doesn't matter if you're on Miami, it doesn't matter if you're on Satellite, it doesn't matter if you're on Moscow. They're predominantly medium range. Of course, some of them are a bit bigger, and hence why I have the long and medium range, which I'm going to show you in a minute, but 99% of the games are completely sufficient with this rifle. First of all, as I said, my main weapon of choice is the XM4 assault rifle. It's a standard, it's a classic, and after the MP5 has been nerfed down, it's again the weapon of choice. First I start from the wild card. I choose the gunfighter. Why? Because I want my weapon to be completely loaded out with everything I can possibly have. Now, if you can see in the attachments, what I have done, if you can maybe take your attention to the lower corner, is that I have focused predominantly on accuracy. There are two reasons why I've gone on accuracy. Number one, I am a console player, and I'm not historically a console player, which means that I still don't have the muscle memory I probably should have. And that means that my accuracy really needs to be spot on in every single situation. I start with my optics. It's of course the mil-stop reflex. I love this. Everybody loves this, and there's a reason for it. It's small, it's agile, it gives you the necessary zoom in without any extra pressure on it. Now on the muzzle, I use the infantry compensator for that vertical recoil control. Why? Because mostly when you aim at medium ranges, what you have to do is make sure your gun doesn't flinch up and down. You can always control the side burst, you can always guide it or push it slightly with your stick, but what is really important is that you don't move upwards, because what I try to do is hit as many headshots as possible. Why? Well, very simple, because a few headshots is more than unloading an entire magazine on someone. So the infantry compensator is on this load what I'm taking. On the barrel I use the 13.7 inch takedown. Why? Again, because I need that range. Let's be honest, this is an assault rifle, and shocking as it may be, I have actually fired the equivalent of this in real life. Is a very small assault rifle. You need the range, because as much as a medium range is, it is a range nonetheless. So the 13.7 inch takedown is your well, barrel of choice on that instance. On the body, quite frankly, you don't really need it. I still can't find a reason for those lasers. I completely find them useless, but the steady aim laser is what I have, because it simply adds pros without any cons. On the underbarrel, it's the field agent grip. As you can see, this is there because again of the recoil control. You have 6% recoil control and you have 20% horizontal recoil control, which is completely sufficient for you to be able to aim and move left, right, up and down. Now the only downside here is your shooting move speed, but at the end of the day, when you're at medium range, you shouldn't be moving that much, or at least enough to stay alive. On the magazine, I use the Salvo 50 round fast mag. This is an absolute beast, ladies and gentlemen. The reason is that you have 50 bullets. 50 damn bullets. That's a lot of bullets. I made a calculation, and on 30 damage with 50 bullets is 1500 damage, which is 6 consecutive enemies, all with my horrendous accuracy. It's exactly one guy down before I can reload. That's a joke, of course. The only issue is the aim down sight time. Again, I pick my fights. Even though I'm aggressive, even though I'm in people's faces, I will never have to instantly burst an aim down. So this is my magazine. The handle, of course, is the absolute best, which is the elastic wrap. It has aim down sight time increase, it has flinch resistance, you can aim while proning. The only issue again is your shooting moves and sprinting. But again, as I said, if you're looking to very close quarters, this is usually when I go to my secondary, and I'll show you that in a minute. The stock that I use is the SAS combat stock. The reason is that here I can actually compensate for the negatives from the previous ones. My walking movement speed has increased, my shooting move speed is also slightly increased. These are the overall stats. As you can see, my range is pretty big. The bullet velocity is not as high, neither is the damage, but it's quite alright. My fire rate is really great. Everything else around there is exactly as I feel it. Now my secondary is the GALLO 12, or the GALLO SA12 as it's called here, and I'm guessing that's the real name of the shotgun. Well, shotgun. Sorry about that. As you can see, I use the infantry V-choke for the ADS spread. On the barrel, I use the 20.3-inch hammer forged, simply because of the fire rate. On the magazine, I use the standard 12-round tube because, well, on many instances when you're very short, you have to aim on a very short distance. The best thing is to shoot as fast as humanly possible, and you need more bullets for that. The handle, I use the SASR Jungle Grip for the aim down sound time and the flinch resistance, and finally on the stock I use the no stock for the sprinting to fire time. I do need a few more levels, obviously. Other than that, I will probably finish on the marathon stock because wow, look at it. But other than that, it's okay. Now, it's very important that I focus your attention on one thing, and that's your tactical. You need a stim shot. You always need a stim shot in this game. Now, unless you're highly conservative or you sit half a map away and you're happy to throw your flashbang or your stun grenade or whatever you have, you need a stim shot because it can instantly get you back in the game. It's basically having a continuously replenishing second health, and that is the absolute game changer. For the lethal, I use the Molotov. The reason I use the Molotov, besides being East European, is the fact that with the Molotov you can actually corner down where your enemies come from, because no one's gonna go through a fiery wall, or at least no one who has the brains for it. And the last I use is the proximity mine. It doesn't really matter if you use the proximity mine or the gas mine, they're equally good, I would say. Proximity mine, of course, you have smaller probability of people evading it, because most people forget to duck down. Now on my perks I use the tactical mask so I can move happily and not be stunned, the scavenger because as I said I fire a lot of bullets and I need them back, and the ninja because I don't want to be hurt about it. This is in my mind the best all around perfect setup loadout you can have in this game. It will help you short range, it will help you middle range. If you're careful, it will even help you long range because of that level of stability and accuracy I have. Is it gonna take people down in one shot? No, it won't. But let's be honest, if you're on the skill that you can take people with one shot, you don't need to listen to my videos, you don't need to watch my streams, you're already a lot better than me. Now, I'm just very quickly going to show you two of my other builds just to make you understand what my logic behind them is. My plan B is my absolutely very short range. I call it my ninja build. It's again using the XM4 with different builds. Here I'm using the per greed, so that I can have both the flak jacket and the tactical mask, which I think is essential so that I can neither take excessive damage from grenades nor from stun grenades. On the middle tier, whatever it's called, I call it the blue one, the scavenger and the gearhead, of course, and on the ninja and gung-ho, which makes me a lot more agile and faster. This build I use predominantly on very small maps, such as for example Moscow, or well, depending of course on the game type, but let's say garrison, checkpoint and so on. On the builds here I use the agency suppressor because I want to be really quiet. On the barrel again, here I use the 13.5-inch task force. Yes, it takes away from your starting ammo, less control, but the fact of the matter is that you have more damage, more velocity, and quite frankly that is quite a bit of a game changer. Quite frankly, I'm still not sure if I've made the right decision on this. Drop a comment and let me know if I'm wrong. I'll be happy to adjust. Now on the underbarrel, this bad boy, as I like to call it, is what you need to be really fast. Yes, it takes a minuscule 6% off some of your speeds, but your sprinting move speed is faster, your horizontal recoil control is exactly where you need to be. Last but not least, you have your handle, which I use the again the airborne elastic wrap, which gives you all the advantages you can see, which is an ADAM sight, flinch resistance, and you can aim while proning. And on the stock I use the radar pad, again for that sprinting time, aim, walking, movement speed, although it takes a bit from the hip firing accuracy. On my plan B, or on my second, I use this lovely, well, I don't know if it's a shotgun, but it's a gun nonetheless, which is basically, I've taken it as a bonus once I reached my level 50 on the prestige level. As you can see, I am already higher, but I use the standard double duckbill choke. If I can unlock more, that will be great. If I don't, who cares? On the barrel, I use what already comes with it. I do use the steady aim laser, as I use no optic. On the handle, it already comes with the serpent wrap, and on the stock, again, it comes with the SAS combat stock. This build, as I said, it's built for close quarters. That's why I have a gas mine. That's why I have a frag grenade, and above all, that's why I have, again, a stim shot. Stim shot is essential, guys. I cannot keep repeating this. If you're fast, if you're agile, if you're really in people's faces, you need a stim shot. Last but not least, I'm just very quickly going to show you my last, well, build of choice, which is the, let's say, long to medium range build. This is the AUG. It's an absolute beast. It's the upgrade of the M16. It's an upgrade because it's faster, it does more damage, it has more bullets, and quite frankly it's better in every single way. Here again I've gone into full gunfighter mode to build those attachments, as many as possible. I use the Cobra Red Dot, although sometimes I add the Vision Tech 2, which is 2-time increase, of course. The reason I use it is because some maps are just too big. But I think the Cobra Red Dot is sufficient enough. On the muzzle I use the infantry compensator, again focusing on the vertical recoil, again so that I don't miss those headshots. On the barrel I use the 18.2 inch strike team for the damage and fire rate, which as you can see is almost double what you have on the XM4. On the body I use this, well, I don't know if it's a flashlight or whatever it is. Quite frankly I still find it useless. But they keep adding them in those games, so I'll keep attaching them. On the grip or underbarrel, I use the infiltrator grip, which has movement speed, shooting movement speed, aim, walking movement speed as well. On the magazine, I use the standard 45 round drum. The reason is that I don't want to lose anything else from my gun. It does reload slightly slower, but it has more capacity, more starting ammo, and more ammo capacity. With 45 bullets on the 3 bullet burst, quite frankly, that's almost 15 times pressing that trigger. And if you can't take down a single guy in 15 shots, well, I don't know how I can help you anymore. Anyway, on the handle, I use the field tape, which is of course for the flinch resistance. Of course, once I get where I should with that level, I will probably be going with the airborne elastic wrap. But I haven't unlocked it that much simply because I play so much with the XM4. And on the stock, I use the marathon stock for the sprinting time. Again, once we get on that level, I will probably adjust to either one of those, the SAS combat stock or the rider pad. I do have a project. No, I'm not going to show it to you. I want to see how this one goes and then I'll show you, but I'll give you a hint. It's a weapon I absolutely hate. It's a playstyle I absolutely hate. But let's be honest, we only become better once we're out of our comfort zone. In my next video, just so that this one doesn't get too much, I will show you some gaming videos of my results with those weapons, and I guarantee you I will earn your trust on how you're doing. Anyway, let me know what you think. Let me know your experience with these guns and with these builds. Let me know what works for you or what doesn't work for you, and above all, why. The most important thing is not that it's the right weapon, it's who the shooter is and why they need it the way it is. So drop a comment, like, or anything. You can always find me on Twitch, YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook, AssassinPG1. I am your friendly neighborhood streamer, and I'm signing out.